Enjoy the show on the website at geekworldradio.com. Begin!
Hey guys, you're listening to Geek World. We are your superhero superhosts, Anime, Mistress of the Dork, and the man who never stops talking, Dave!
What are we talking about, Anime?
We are talking about the premiere of the new My Hero Academia movie, My Hero Academia Heroes Rising.
Oh man, I love this anime so much. It is probably, at least for me personally, like my favorite concurrent anime that's going on right now. And this is the second movie based on the series. And I couldn't be more excited. And so I'm just going to get this out of the way first and foremost. My Hero Academia Heroes Rising is going to be in theaters February 26th. Mm-hmm. All through North America. It's going to be in like 1,000 theaters. Subs and dubs. Hey, you gotta check the website to see which one you're going to.
Yeah, and as you guys know, who have been to Funimation movies in the past, if they do well, they keep them in theaters, and they theoretically might bring them to more theaters. So definitely go out and support it, because I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want to see more of these amazing anime movies getting into actual like big theaters here in the U.S.
It's amazing, and I have to like really credit Funimation with like being like big pioneers in this kind of thing, because it's one thing to have like, oh, this movie like made a ton of money, let's bring it out, but Funimation really knows that like there is a core group of people that get excited about these movies, want to see them in theaters. Mm-hmm. Really our first sort of thing with this were the Dragon Ball Z movies.
Yeah.
Ever since Battle of Gods, we've been going to their premieres, and they're bigger and more amazing. And it was really a pleasure to go to this premiere for the new My Hero Academia movie, because it was huge. Mm-hmm. It was like just like crazy. It was like so many people were there.
Oh my god, so many people were there.
If you want to see pictures from it, go to geekworldradio.com, and we have a photo gallery from it, and there's some amazing cosplay there. The theater's beautiful. It was really amazing. Mm-hmm. But let's do a little bit of a review for this movie, because we want you guys to be primed for it before you go February 26th. So
let's give a little bit of synopsis before we talk about how we feel about it. Can
I actually say real quick before we really get into it, is one of the really cool things about this movie is that the creator of the manga, I'm going to just do my best to say his name correctly, Koei Horikoshi, is responsible for the supervision and original character design for the movie. And also, this film has the same director, writer, character, and designer of the first film, which was called Two Heroes.
Yeah. So to get a little into the story, just the whole premise of it, it's almost like a vacation that's not a vacation, a work vacation, where these kids, in class 1A, they're provisional heroes now, and so they get sent off to this fun little island where people go for vacations,
where there's no major crime.
No major crime has happened there in years and years and years, and it's sort of the perfect place for these kids to go to sort of practice being heroes, but more than a lot of the other heroing they do. Go there and help the people, like really interact with the public in a hero way, get their faces known in this little area.
But it's really cool too, because they build the logic, and a lot of the thread of the series has been sort of like the League of Villains are getting bigger and bigger and scarier, so we have to like basically fast track all these kids, and so a big part of them going to this island is they're unsupervised, and so they basically have to like run this like hero unit by themselves, and answer calls, and a lot of it's like getting the electric kid to like jump a guy's tractor, or like my dog's missing, can you help find it, but at the same time there's Aizawa isn't there to like bail them out of trouble, All Might's not there to bail them out of trouble, they're all kind of on their own, which is like a really really cool way to get us into this story, and also a really smart way to I feel like a lot of the series are getting better and better about making these movies in a way that does not feels like they're part of the general story of the series without conflicting too much with the series, and I think having them isolated on this island was like a really good way of doing that. So So yes, you're right. So they're on this island and they're doing their thing. Of course, Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki, everyone that we love is there. Of course, because it's My Hero Academia, stuff goes south pretty quickly. Some villains show up with some nefarious deeds. Some really cool and powerful villains show up. Of course, the kids have to do their best to go, plus ultra and solve the situation. So, I have to say, just right off the bat, I loved the last movie a lot. I thought the last movie was really, really good and really strong. But I kind of think this one was better.
Yeah, well, so one thing that really stood out for me about it was that, unlike, I think more so than any other movie based on an anime that we've seen, or obviously, movie based on a currently running anime series, I suppose I should say.
You got this one.
Yeah,
anime.
I know. No,
you just tell us your thoughts.
Well, because usually, they feel so separate from the series that's currently running.
Yeah.
They don't feel like it's a connected piece.
Yeah.
And I feel like in both this case and the last movie, they felt like they belonged in the universe. They felt like they were just part of the story that was being told. Just, like this is during, spring break or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like, that really stands out for me because I like the movies really feeling canon to the series.
Yeah, I mean, and, I'm not sure necessarily is canon, but it definitely feels that way. And, that's really up to the creators to decide what's canon and what isn't. Like, before Battle of Gods, no Dragon Ball Z movies were canon.
Yeah.
So, it really just depends on the developer. But basically, I think what's really cool about this movie is the fact that I love the idea that they're on their own.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool and really interesting because, there's always that theme in any of these anime where you feel like, at any point, like, the adults are going to kind of show up and save the day.
Yeah.
And in this one, you don't really have that. It's actually really scary because the villains in this, like, first off, the villain 9 is, like, pretty intimidating.
Yes.
He's like a really hardcore. Actually, a lot of the battle in this one reminded me of that final Naruto movie. What was it called? Naruto the
last movie.
Yeah. And it's just like he's a really like pretty overpowered villain, and he's a villain with this isn't too much of a spoiler, but he's a villain that has like multiple quirks.
Yeah, you find that out very early before he even gets to the island.
Which obviously, it poses a problem. But also along with him, he's got this crew of 3 other quirk-powered villains that are all really awesome, especially Chimera. I thought Chimera was dope. Chimera basically has like a wolf face, and he's got like he's got like wings, and he's got like some kind of like crazy like snake claw things. He's got all these like crazy snake claws, and he's he's like a very scary version of that hero from the 4th season that like would eat something. He has like an octopus arm or something.
Yeah.
But and he was like really, really cool and really, really scary. And I really like that. So anyway, so the villains and the fighting in it are pretty amazing, and it's really intense. This, I would say that when I first started watching it, they're on an island and they're on the beach, and I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel like it's going to be as crazy because I think there's something about the cityscape superhero stuff that always seems like much scarier, right? But then like pretty quickly it turns into like a pretty much all-out action fest for a pretty large majority of this movie. Yeah,
there's a lot of fighting. Obviously in all of these there is, and a big portion of what these kids do is fighting. But in this, another big thing about it is that Bakugo and Deku, they have to deal with these 2 kids. These 2 kids that start off the movie by like essentially calling wolf too many times. But Deku is determined to connect with everyone and be the best hero he can be, and really, both he and Bakugo, they have to find a way to put aside their differences as much as they can.
I know.
To sort of team up in as best a way that they possibly can, because the 2 of them are are together and can't get to anyone else.
And you know what? These heroes got to rise.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
they do.
saying? And I always love the sort of, Vegeta Goku relationship between Deku and Bakugo. So first off, well, not first off, we're already like into the show,
15th
but
off.
15th off. I would say we're in the middle of the 4th season right now. I don't think you necessarily have to be caught up to watch this movie.
No. I think earlier on in some of the seasons, you might not recognize certain characters, but they're also not important characters. The main characters are the ones from Class 1A.
Yeah, the ones that you know.
them.
Yeah, so I would say I wouldn't, if you haven't started watching season 4, maybe that would be. But I don't think you have to have caught totally up to season 4 in order to have watched this movie. I will say though, in going along with that, and I apologize if you haven't seen season 4 and this. It's not really a spoiler, but me personally, I love Bakugo. I think Bakugo is awesome. I think he's a really interesting character because there is this thing about him where he almost feels like he's the lead of another anime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's this great thing in season, I think 2 or 3, I can't remember, where the League of Villains, they kidnap Bakugo, and a lot of people, I think, were, as fans, you're supposed to be worried maybe he's going to become a bad guy because he's got this Raphael rage, for Ninja Turtles. He's a truculent dude, he's a guy who is
well, it felt very like
Sasuke-ish, yeah, exactly. And then pretty quickly, he tells him to screw off. He's not a villain, he's a hero.
Yeah.
And so there's a really cool thing about him where he's got a Vegeta type quality without ever truly having been evil in the first place.
Yeah.
He's a Raphael. He's a rough around the edges hero. And so I really like him a lot because of that. I think he's just an interesting character, and I also think that allows Deku to be more pure.
Yeah.
Because the pairing of the two make for a pretty interesting story. So that being said, I kind of feel like season 4 of My Hero currently felt like they kind of fridged Bakugo a bit.
They fridged a few characters because I think the thing is that previous seasons had focused so much on certain characters, had really I mean when it comes down to it, Todoroki and Bakugo, and Froppy, and Uravity, these are characters that people really got to know and love, and so many of the other ones, they were there but they didn't really get any sort of
Yeah.
I mean, it was sort of
they have nice moments here and there, but they're not the leads.
Well, it's sort of Kirishima, who in this most recent season has been such a humongous part of it and has had some incredible moments.
Yeah.
In
Red
previous
Riot, you mean?
seasons,
Red Riot, yeah.
Yeah. So in previous seasons, though, it was sort of oh, right, he's
the
one of those,
hard guy.
Yeah. He's just one of those strong guys in the class, right?
Exactly,
he didn't, he was always trying to befriend Bakugo, but that was kind of his only personality trait.
It was crazy in season 4, they were 3 episodes back to back based on him, and I was like, when did he become a fan favorite? Am I missing something?
It was also, but for me, it was sort of oh man, this is what they do in some shows when they're gonna kill someone.
Oh, I know. Or totally, or a reality show.
Yeah.
The
that
episode that
kicked
they
off.
focus so much on this one person they never focus on. You're uh-oh. Yeah, no, I agree.
So I think it really gave a chance for certain other people, other characters to shine in it. I also think that it was whereas in the other seasons, like you said, it was sort of that thing of Bakugo versus Midoriya. In this, you had pure Midoriya, not against, but next to someone who is even more pure than he was in the season during this last season.
Oh, Lemelian. Yeah.
So it's you get to see a sort of different light on things in that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of the season was about the inner struggle that he had.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. That's a really good point.
Anyways, back to the movie.
No, well, yeah. So anyway, back to the movie. The whole reason I brought this up, which I really you just took this way too far.
Yeah.
Frankly, we need to redo the show. Just kidding. The reason I brought it up is I feel like this movie's very much focused on Bakugo and Deku, together, and I really like that. It actually kind of reminds me of Resurrection F. the Dragon Ball Z movie
Yeah.
that I felt like it was very much Vegeta's movie. Kind of has, I feel like it's got that kind of thing going on, which I really appreciated a lot because I like the character and I sort of missed him in the fourth season a little bit. But yeah, I just think that like, you know, this is just classic My Hero Academia. You know, I mean, I found myself quite concerned about Midoriya through a lot of it because he really had to like push himself in the battles because the battles are insane and huge in this. I think that it was just like a pretty like tense movie.
Yeah.
And also really paced well too.
And all of the battles were equally cool and like, you know, you were worried for all the characters and people got really cool moments. And again, I think like it was another place where they were able to give certain people moments that don't usually get them, like Ojiro, the one with like the I don't know, the kangaroo tail, whatever.
Oh yeah, the tail kid.
Yeah. I don't even know what exactly animal he sort of is.
I don't know either.
But he has a kangaroo-like tail, and he had so many cool moments in the fighting in it.
I agree. Yeah. A lot of people got a lot of really nice, like, cool things. You know, once again, like Resurrection F. You know, I felt like, you know, because Resurrection F was like so many fights, and like Roshi got to be cool again. Like all these people got to be cool. I agree. And you know, and that's kind of what's cool about My Hero Academia is like it is about ultimately a large team of heroes, the next generation of heroes. It's not, you know, as much as we're all, you know, rooting mostly for Deku because it's ultimately his story, all these other characters are important too, and it's a really good mix of that. I also wanted to say just in general, you know, both of us, I think with the exception of Dragon Ball Z, because we grew up on Dragon Ball Z, we're definitely tend to watch subs.
I was just gonna bring this up too.
Yeah, we tend to watch the subs of stuff just more often for whatever reason. It just feels right because that's where, you know, that's the origin of it. But I will
also
say,
because a lot of the time we get those first.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, because it takes time and effort to do a good dub. I will say though, we saw this dubbed, and the dub is really good.
Yeah, and this, you know, we watched the series subbed, but watching the dubbed version of the movie, I didn't feel like it didn't even feel disjointed in any way from it. You know, it felt the inflection of things felt very much the same as I get from the Japanese voice actors.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, I think, like, Bakugo, like, there was never a moment when I was like, that's not what Bakugo sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, and also, All Might, too. I mean, you know, it's good. Like, they do a really good job of the voice casting is right on.
And when you see it in theaters, you know, if you're able to, they have both the sub and the dub versions that are going to be playing.
Yeah.
But I think what we're trying to get across here is that, you know, even if you're used to watching the sub version and the only tickets you can get are for the dubbed, like, it's still well worth it. You're not going to feel... you're not going to feel like it's completely different because you're seeing it one way versus the other.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people, like, get very upset about that, or they just, like, for some reason, you know, they were like, this is the way the characters sound, and you know, and I don't like the dub characters, but I think the casting is, like, strong. Like,
Very
it never
strong.
bothered me. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't want to get into a depreciating, you know, kind of review where we start giving away too much, because it's awesome. I mean, I think the movie is, like, frankly, really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really emotional.
It's action-packed.
It's action-packed. It's, like, visceral. Like, all your characters get great moments. I couldn't recommend it higher. It's funny, when we were in Japan last October, we saw, like, giant billboards, right? Actually, Shibuya.
Yeah.
Shibuya Crossing. They had a giant billboard for this. And actually, it was a pretty big hit in Japan. It came, the weekend it came out, it was third at the box office in Japan.
Yeah, I think it maintained that for...
It did for the
a
next
couple
week.
weeks.
Yeah. So
and it was in the top 10 for, like 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, so it did great in Japan, and yeah, it's just a really good movie.
Super fun.
So you know, go to Funimation.com, or just, you know, go to, you know, wherever you get your movie tickets and check out
play.
which and you know, and hopefully you hear this review before, or at least you know about it. But My Hero Academia: Heroes Rising, February 26th in select theaters. Cool. So other than that, is there anything else you want to talk about on the show? I mean, anything about My Hero Academia or just anime in general that you'd like to, get off your chest?
I mean, if you aren't watching My Hero Academia, you should be, because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's one of those shows that's uplifting.
Yeah.
In so many ways, it's the kind of thing that There's those things that get you like psyched before going to the gym or something like that. It's like, this is the kind of thing that will get you psyched for whatever you're doing, and that a lot of the lessons in it, I don't care if you're a kid, if you're an adult, whoever, the lessons that they teach in it, the things that they get across, it resonates no matter what you're doing, no matter what your job is, no matter what school thing you're doing. It will it means something, and you can really take it to heart. And I don't know, for me, I find it inspiring a lot of the time.
Anime's so interesting because I feel like they have it every way. I feel like they can have the most human most kind of human thoughts and the most kind of human parable stuff go on, while at the same time cutting for kind of jokey stuff, sometimes lowbrow jokey stuff, but still maintain the integrity of the art, which I feel like is harder for a lot of the entertainment that we have here in America, where I feel like in America there's fear that you can't go too far outside your comfort zone. It needs to be this kind of thing, and I really love that, and I think My Hero works on that in a lot of ways. I mean, it's so inspiring in so many ways, and I really think that there's a lot going on that it not only makes me feel good, but often makes me want to be a better person.
Yeah.
Which I think is how many... I mean, no one's ever said that watching Game of Thrones. Nobody's ever said that watching Breaking Bad or even watching almost anything, you know? Especially because I feel like in America, in a lot of our shows, if they're proselytizing... after a while you're LOL, fine, whatever, okay, boomer. But I feel I know that was the Kylo Ren version of okay, boomer. But I think with anime, they are making a point that I think, really resonates a lot. And part of that is, a lot of it is, especially the shonen stuff, is, for teens.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to teach good lessons for young people. But I also think that, even as we get older and we like to think we know everything, we often forget important things. We get so caught up in paying our bills or this or that, and I think sometimes remembering the fundamentals of morality, a real morality, not something a church tells you, but something that's more just general justice type stuff, is good for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to get into all nobody cares, dude. But that's what I like about the show.
Well, that was the point that I was making. So do you have anything you need to get off your chest about anime?
No, I just think people should be watching more of it. You know, I think, whether you, subscribe to, Funimation.com or, buy Blu-rays from them or Crunchyroll or whatever, however you want to go.
Whether you're watching the stuff that's on Netflix or Hulu.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I mean, I think that's something right there, how much more anime is showing up on just these general streamers on the Netflix and the Hulu and the Amazon streaming services. I think it's a great thing, and it gives a lot more people access. Crunchyroll is great because you can watch the anime that they have with commercials, but not have to pay for a subscription. So there are a ton of places that you can go to find the different anime, and obviously, we keep on saying, Funimation doing such an amazing job bringing these things out in theaters.
Oh, I know, and it's amazing, and I also kind of wish, I just want anime to be, in general, more ubiquitous. I feel like there are a lot more people today, certainly, than 20 years ago, that have a flagship show.
Yeah.
A lot of people know Dragon Ball Z or love Dragon Ball. A lot of people know,
A lot of people know Cowboy Bebop.
Awesome. My Hero, Academia, Bleach, One Piece.
Yeah. There's also the great thing about
Attack
anime,
on Titan was big.
Yeah, the great thing about anime, and this is a show that we may be doing for you in the future, is that there is an anime for everyone.
Exactly. I was actually going to start talking about that. So and
so I'll just give one example. But if you're into cooking, Shokugeki no Soma,
so great.
or Food Wars, is a fantastic anime where you actually like learn about different cooking techniques, but they do it in a way that feel like, like so many of these, that feels like it's going to become some like magic battle, but it's really like, no, I'm just adding spices to this mix, and then the magic is the smell that people are getting.
And, I also love that anime, too, and I think it works both ways. I think that it works if you're into food and you're into, learning about food, but I also think that the main character and sort of what he's going through is actually really inspiring, and I think also, like, really informative for sort of workplace issues, life issues in general. He's always, having to prove his mettle in this kind of crazy situation that is always very competitive. And he always has to be original. It requires a lot of creative thinking and also a lot of integrity. He's a really cool character, and all the characters are really cool, and I often find myself, especially if like in my career or in other parts of my life I'm struggling, I can watch an anime like Shokugeki and kind of like, it's is kind of ridiculous, as it is, it's like, what would Soma do, or something like that, you know what I mean?
It's, one of the interesting things about like shonen type anime is that there are these certain formulas about them, but the formula always has to start with the main character, and there are like a bunch of different main character types. So it's like, whereas in Shokugeki no Soma, Soma is one of those like characters that starts off with all the skills, and he has determination in one direction, but he has to learn that he needs to learn more. Whereas like in My Hero Academia, Midoriya is starts off as the kid with all of the determination, but needs to find the way to get the skills.
Well, and it's so cool that you bring that up, because they're both so different in a lot of ways. They both have what psychologists call a growth mindset. Where they don't get to beat themselves up too much about not knowing something, or, they're always getting better. Like one of the great things about Soma is like, if he does lose or doesn't do as well as he hoped, he states the fact that he's going to learn from this situation and become better, often to the sort of a disgust of the people who are like, well, it's a cook must always be perfect all the time, and because he's like a legit underdog, kind of. That's also what's cool about both these characters, is they're legit underdogs, kind of. Where like it's like they happen to have the best powers in the universe, either like power of culinary skills or superpower, but they're still developing as people.
Although Deku didn't start off that way.
Exactly, but also they're both courageous and crazy. Deku being literally insane. But what I like about Shokugeki is it's and what we like about these slice of life animes is they're a little safer. Like, the worst thing that's gonna happen in My Hero Academia, the worst thing that's gonna happen in Food Wars is he's gonna get like expelled. Like no one's gonna die in this anime. It's not like it's like watching like a romantic comedy. The bomb isn't gonna go off. Everything's gonna be fine. And I love that. And listen, anytime a confrontation, a conflict can be dealt with by a cook-off, I'm all in. Because I love food. For sure. So how can you go wrong?
For sure.
But anyway, we should probably wrap this up. We're just kind of chatting about anime, and as much as I love doing that, we should actually make a show about it. So if you're still listening, even after all this time, even after we stop talking about My Hero Academia, thank you very much. I appreciate it. But I'm going to do one more plug, because I love those folks at Funimation. My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, February 26th in select theaters. And I just wanted to thank Funimation for sending us tickets to the premiere, because we had a great time.
It was awesome.
And I got free popcorn out of it. And a goodies bag.
A goodies bag.
A goodies bag. Is that not called that?
A goodie bag?
A goodie bag. Yeah, but there were multiple goodies in there, so it should be a goodies bag. Am I right? Yeah, it kind of makes more sense when you think about it. If anything, everyone else is wrong, and I'm right.
Or is it just like, oh goody, a bag of stuff?
Oh, so it's your response to the bag,
Maybe.
not the contents of the bag.
Guys, weigh in on this on our Anchor page.
Please go to our Anchor page and go, hey.
Here's my comment on this.
Yeah, this is what I'd like to know. And go to geekworldradio.com,
Yes.
guys. I'm very proud of our new design. And also, we are working on getting full photo galleries back up for everything that we've done over the many years, all the cosplay. So right now we have a photo gallery. And also let us know what you think on our Anchor page, because I'm kind of having it both ways right now. I'm both like putting the pictures in blog posts like we used to do.
Yeah.
But I also have a photo gallery page that's a different form of a gallery that I think personally looks cooler and it works really well on your phone. But, let me know what you guys think. You know, do you only want one? Do you like both? Like, hey, I'm open. Criticize me. Say all the things. Just be like, Dave, we don't like your voice. We don't like your face. We don't like your general demeanor. Yeah. That's fine. I will work on those.
But also don't tell him that. He's very sensitive.
I will. Yeah, that was it's a sore spot, all those things. Anyway, thanks so much for listening, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to tune in again next week. See you later. Bye.